Jaya Gopi Janna Balaba Girivada Dhori Yashodanandana Raja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Raja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Raja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Raja Janaranjana Namunatita Vanachari Namunatira Vanachari Madhava Punjabi Hari Jayo Radha Madhava Punjabi Hari Madhava Punjabi Hari Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 8, Text 11. Please repeat this verse after me, line by line. Shri Shuka Vacha Evam Samprartito Vipraha Swachikirsitam Eva Tat Chakaranamakaranam Budho Rahasi Balayoho Shri Shuka Vacha.
Suhotra Swami pokračoval, když byl Gargamuni Nandou Maharážem takto výslovně požádán, aby udělal to, co si sám přál udělat. Vykonal pro Krišnu a Balarámu v ústraní obřad udílení jména.
So there's no purport. I'll go on to the next verse, text 12. Sri Garga Uvacha Ayam hi Rohini Putro Romayon Suhrdo Gunai Akyashate Ramiti Baladhikyat Balam Vidu Yadunam Apratag Bhavat Sankarshnam Ushantyapi.
Právě toto dítě, syn Rohini, bude svými transcendentálními vlastnostmi přinášet veškeré štěstí svým příbuzným a přátelům. Proto se mu bude říkat Ráma. A jelikož bude projevovat neobyčejnou tělesnou sílu, bude rovněž známý jako Bala. Navíc se bude jmenovat Sankarshanam, neboť spojuje dvě rodiny, Vasudevovou rodinu s rodinou Nandy Maharáže. Význam Baladev byl ve skutečnosti synem Devaky, ale byl z jejího lůna přemístěn do lůna Rohini. Tato skutečnost zůstala skrytá. Harivanše je uvedeno. Prativáča tato Ráma sarvánstán stitán Jádavéš vapi sarvéšu havanto mama valvabhá. Gargamuni prozradil Nandovi Maharážovi, že Balarám bude známý jako Sankarshan vzhledem k tomu, že spojuje dvě rodiny Jaduvanšu a Vamšu Nandy Maharáže, z nichž jedna je kšatrijská a druhá vajšovská. Obě rodiny pocházely od společného předka a lišily se pouze v tom, že se Nanda Maharáž narodil manželce z rodu Vajšů, zatímco Vasudeva se narodil kšatrijské manželce. Později se Nanda Maharáž oženil s vajšovskou dívkou a Vasudev s kšatrijskou. Proto se rodiny Nandi Maharáže a Vasudevi dělili na kšatrijskou a vajšovskou větev, přestože měli oba stejného otce. Nyní je Baladeva spojil a proto byl známý jako Sankarshan.
Mukam kroti bachala mangamlangai tigramiyat kipitanam mandeshi gurindina taranam. Lord Krishna's energies are unlimited and inconceivable. So the overall term for the Lord's energies are Achintya Shakti. But authorities or Vaishnavacharyas, so that we can better appreciate the Lord's glories, they categorize the Achintya Shakti in different ways. So therefore we have such categorizations as the internal energy, the marginal energy, the external energy. So in another classification, there is the Jnana Shakti, the Icha Shakti, and the Kriya Shakti. So this is following. This is actually the original, as Prabhupada said in a letter, the original psychology is to be seen in the Lord Himself. So Srila Prabhupada explained that psychology basically means 3 phases of mind: thinking, feeling, and willing. So the Jnana Shakti, you can understand from the term, this is Krishna's knowing or His thinking. And the Icha Shakti, so Icha means desire. This is the second stage of psychology. Feeling and desires, this means the desires are coming out. One is not only thinking, but desire is there. So already in the mind, one is feeling the connection with the desired object. And Kriya Shakti means the power to do something, to actually enact one's thoughts and desires. So now when we talk about these, so when we talk about such things here in the material world on the basis of our material experience, then the strong tendency is that we translate everything into impersonalism. This is all due to brainwashing for a long, long time. So we hear something like desire, willing, energy of willing, and we think of it in terms of the impersonal, mechanistic forces that we learned about in our science classes in school. But in truth, everything in existence is personal. And this personalism is the reason. You see? I told you in the beginning, the Lord's energies are called achintya, which means inconceivable. So this is specifically referring to the Lord's personal feature. In fact, achintya is one of Krishna's names.
Jak jsem říkal na začátku, že Krishnovy energie jsou achintya, nepochopitelné, nepředstavitelné, tak to se vztahuje k osobnímu aspektu Pána. Achintya je ve skutečnosti jeho jméno.
When the Lord displays his universal form, this is a incredible, amazing, and inconceivable personal manifestation.
Pán ukazuje svou vesmírnou podobu, tak to je ohromující a nepochopitelný projev Pána osobního aspektu.
And the glorification is there in the Vedas of that form Sahasra Shirsha Purusha Sahasraksha Sahasrapa Shabumin Vishvato Ritva Atyat Distadda Sangulam. So Sahasra Shirsha, this feature of the Lord has thousands upon thousands of heads.
Ve Vedách je tato podoba oslavována tímto veršem, který říká, že Pán má v této podobě tisíce a tisíce hlav.
Sahasraksha Sahasrapat, and thousands upon thousands of eyes and thousands upon thousands of hands or feet, legs.
Tisíce a tisíce očí a tisíce rukou nebo nohou.
And this form is behind all cosmic affairs, all the mysterious display of cosmic energies.
Tato podoba přesahuje veškeré dění ve vesmíru a veškeré podoby, projevy vesmírných energií.
But you see the train of thought of the scientists, and everyone else is the disciples of the scientists. So when they look at the universe, they're always trying to bring out some impersonal reason, some impersonal cause for everything.
Jak je vytrénovaná mysl vědce a ostatní, kteří jsou žáky vědců, tak všichni se snaží vystupovat pro všechno ve vesmíru nějaké neosobní příčiny a původy.
That is why they're baffled.
Proto jsou neúspěšní.
Because the impersonal feature of the Lord is there, but ultimately it is bewildering.
Takže neosobní rys Pána existuje, ale v konečném smyslu je matoucí.
Therefore, Srila Prabhupada called it the last snare of Maya.
Proto Srila Prabhupada nazývá poslední léčkou Máji.
So anyway, getting back to this point of the psychology of the Lord. So, kriya shakti, this is a personal manifestation, a personal appearance of the Lord. This willpower is not just as again some mysterious vibration or something. There is a person who is the ultimate repose, the ultimate shelter of willpower, and that is Lord Balarama.
Zase, když se vrátíme k Pánově psychologii, tak kriya shakti, energie, chtění a něco dělání, tak to není zase nějaký mystický, neosobní aspekt, projev ve vesmíru, ale je to v skutečnosti osobní Pánův projev, kterým je Balarama.
Bala means strength. Ram, of course, means to enjoy. So Lord Balaram, he enjoys displaying his strength.
Bala je síla, Rama je užívat si, takže Pán Balarám je ten, kdo si užívá toho, jak projevuje svou sílu.
So Lord Balaram, his energies are expanded in the spiritual world, again talking about different classifications of Shakti. So Sandini Shakti, this is the manifestation of all of the transcendental landscape and paraphernalia of the spiritual world. Beginning, of course, with the central point is Goloka Vrindavan.
Balarámovy energie se šíří po duchovním světě, a když zase mluvíme o jejich rozdělení, tak Sandini Shakti zahrnuje veškerou krajinu transcendentální a veškeré příslušenství, které je všude po duchovním světě, počínaje Golokou Vrindavanu.
Goloka Vrindavan is in itself, you see, we know that there is Vaikuntha Dham, so unlimited Vaikuntha planets, but Goloka Vrindavan is in itself unlimited.
Že ve Vaikuntha Dhamu je nekonečně vajkunských planet, ale už samotná Goloka Dham je nekonečná, neomezená.
So there are different forests, bonds, and they expand unlimitedly.
Tam jsou různé lesy, bány, které se zase rozpínají do nekonečná.
In the books, the Goswami Granta, the books of the 6 Goswamis and other great Goswamis of the Gaudiya Vaishnava line, they have described the most important bonds, forests of Vrindavan, but they tell us that they go on unlimitedly in all directions. There are simply more and more and more and more forests, and each forest has its own particular characteristic.
Knihy 6 Goswamí a dalších velkých Goswamí naší posloupnosti popisují lesy ve Vrindavanu, ale dál říkají, že tyhle lesy se rozpínají dál a dál do nekonečná, mají každý má svou speciální charakteristiku.
There's for instance, a Nilavan, a blue forest in which the trees have the appearance of blue crystal.
Například Nilavan, modrý les, kde stromy mají podobu modrých křišťálů.
If I find one of those machines, you're going to be surprised what I do with it. I'm going to smash it. I swear. If I see one of those machines here, and I'm going to take it and smash it to pieces. So it's best you don't bring it. If you want to keep your little pet machine, don't bring it to class, because I will break it into pieces right here. So now if you're scared, I hope you're scared, because that means there won't be any of these strange sounds in the middle of class. So anyway, yes, Nilavan, a forest of blue gem, and the vines, there are vines which grow up wrapping around the blue gem trees, and these are ruby vines, red gem. So you can imagine how mystically beautiful such a forest is. And these forests have, of course, their particular flowers and their particular birds and particular animals. Particular bodies of water. So all of this, beginning, it is said there's an original tree in Goloka Vrindavan, an original tree which is glorified in the Vedas in mysterious language as the tree of Lord Narayan. Even in Bhagavad Gita there is reference to that tree, the reflection of which is this whole material world. So there's an original tree and the original Jamuna. But all of this is manifested by the kriya shakti of Lord Balarama. Balaram is God, but he is also the original servant of Krishna. So he is enjoying to manifest the unlimited opulence of Goloka Vrindavan. At the same time, the reason he's making that manifestation is for the happiness, the pleasure of his brother Sri Krishna.
On sám nachází potěšení v tom, jak projevuje to nekonečné bohatství Goloky Vrindávanu, ale zároveň také tím těší svého bratra Krishnu.
So here the name Sankarshan is mentioned in that he brings two families together, the family of Vasudev and the family of Nanda Maharaj.
Je zmíněno také jméno Sankarshan, které se stavuje k tomu, jak on spojuje dva rody, rodiny Vasudevy a Nandy Maharaj.
Yes, so this name Sankarshana in the Sanskrit root, there is this sense of pulling in the very name.
V sanskritském kořenu tohoto jména Sankarshan je vyjádřeno stahování, táhnutí.
So here's in this context explained here in Srila Prabhupada's purport, we see the sense of Sankarshan in that he pulls two families together, two families of Vaishnavas.
Tady v výkladu Srila Prabhupády vidíme, že Sankarshan znamená, že on stáhne dva rody, rodiny Vaishnavů k sobě.
But we also see this same quality of his in the simple fact that he always keeps a plow with him. A plow is his weapon.
Stejnou jeho vlastnost vidíme na tom, že on pořád u sebe nosí pluh, což je jeho zbraň.
And so what do you do with a plow ordinarily? It is pulled. It is pulled by two oxen, and in this way the ground is turned over.
Co se normálně dělá s pluhem, že ho táhnou dva voly a tím se obrací zem.
Lord Balaram has his wonderful personal expansions, like Ananta and Shesh, or we commonly combine the two, Ananta Shesh. But actually these are two forms of Lord Balaram.
Pán Balaram má své dvě úžasné expanze Anantu a Šešu, což obvykle mluvíme jako o Ananta Šešovi, ale ve skutečnosti jsou to dvě podoby Pána Balarama.
So one, they're both identical snake forms, looking the same, but one is outside of all the universes, holding them on his heads.
Oba mají totožné hadí podoby, které vypadají stejně, ale jedna je vně všech vesmírů, které drží na svých hlavách.
And the other is inside each universe, keeping the planets on each of his heads.
A druhá je uvnitř všech vesmírů a má všechny planety na svých hlavách.
So here too, that quality of Sankarshan, pulling together, because Lord Balaram is the force of that we call gravity. Again, scientists think of it as some impersonal thing, but that is his personal power.
Tady zase vidíme tu kvalitu Sankarshana táhnout věci k sobě, protože Pán Balaram je původním zdrojem přitažlivosti, o kterém vědci mluví zase jako o něčem neosobním, ale je to přitom jeho osobní síla.
So, in the relativity theory of Einstein, there is this conception, I mentioned it the other day, space-time. They bring space, he brought space and time together and made it one factor.
Einsteinově teorie relativity je časoprostor, o kterém jsem mluvil v neděli, kde se čas a prostor berou jako společně jedna síla působící.
And he has gone further to say that space and time has an architecture.
On dál říká, že čas a prostor mají svoji architekturu,
There's a shape to it.
mají svůj tvar.
And this is, of course, very difficult to understand.
Čemuž je těžké porozumět.
And we have no need of understanding it.
Není to nějak nepotřebujeme chápat.
Except that I just want to point out to you that in relativity theory, then in the space-time of the universe, the stars and planets and so on, they are situated upon space-time.
Já chci poukázat na to, že v té teorii relativity jsou planety ve vesmíru situovány na tomto časoprostoru.
Space-time is holding them.
Časoprostor je drží.
And then they say gravity, the tendency for two objects to come together, that's because of some disturbance in the space-time, because of the mass of these objects. So then the space-time, it warps in such a way that the two objects will come together.
Potom, co se týče přitažlivosti, dva předměty, že se navzájem přitahují jeden druhem, tak to vysvětlují, že to je kvůli nějaké poruše v tom časoprostoru, že je nějak zakroucený a kvůli tomu se ty planety navzájem přitahují.
So don't break your head over these things. But what I just want to say here is that in this idea, which is of course relativity theory, is today one of the fundamental principles of modern physics.
Teorie relativity je dnes jedním ze základů moderní fyziky.
So there is this idea that everything in the universe is being supported.
Tam je ta představa, že všechno ve vesmíru je nějak udržováno.
You see, which is interesting, because I think when people think about the universe and how everything is where it is, they don't think like that. They probably just think just everything is somehow up there and spinning around and somehow just staying where it is. We don't know, by accident or something, by chance. That's always what you hear. By chance, everything is like that.
Si lidi nemyslí, že by všechno ve vesmíru bylo něčím držené, že si říkají, tak to prostě tak je, že se to tam nějak točí a všechno to tak zůstává tam, kde to je, a je to všechno náhodou, což v konečném smyslu vždycky slyšíme.
But the logic of relativity theory says there is this, the space-time itself is providing support for the heavenly bodies.
Logika teorie relativity je, že ten časoprostor drží všechna nebeská tělesa.
So in other words, you see, space is not just nothing.
Prostor není jenom nic.
There's a fabric to it.
Má svou strukturu.
And it has the power to support planet Earth or other great planets.
Má tu schopnost a sílu držet planetu Zemi a ostatní velké planety.
But in the Bhagavata version, because that space-time idea is, while it's interesting because of the support aspect, it is impersonal. So Bhagavat tells us that the supporting agent is this gigantic form of Lord Balarama, endless form, as a snake with thousands upon thousands of heads.
Takže v relativitě ten časoprostor je ovšem neosobní, něco, co působí neosobního, ale v podání Bhagavatamu je tím, co drží všechny planety, je tahle nekonečná podoba Balarámy jako hada s 1000 hlavami, má 1000 hlav.
So, which of the two concepts is more interesting?
Které z těchto dvou pojetí je zajímavější.
Everyone will agree. The concept of the transcendental snake with millions of heads.
Může souhlasit s tím, že to je to pojetí transcendentálního hada s miliony hlav.
You see? And so, if we think about this, how gravity is actually anantashesh, we're thinking about the Lord. That's the way the Vaishnava science works.
Když o tom přemýšlíme, že přitažlivost vlastně působení Ananta Šeši, tak to je podoba Pána a tímhle způsobem uvažují Vaishnavové.
And if you remember the Lord in this way, that is your liberation from Maya.
Když takhle vzpomínáte na Pána, tak to je vaše osvobození z Máji.
Whereas the mundane scientists, they're always giving some impersonal explanation which nobody understands. In the last instance, everyone becomes bewildered thinking about it, and everyone remains in Maya.
Zatímco vědci dávají nějaké neosobní vysvětlení, kterému nakonec stejně nikdo nerozumí a každý je z toho zmatený, jak všichni zůstávají v Máji.
So kriya shakti, the power to do something. And there are two versions of this power, spiritual and material.
Kriya shakti je energie, schopnost něco dělat a to je hmotná a duchovní.
So we as devotees are after the transcendental kriya shakti.
A nás jako René zajímá transcendentální kriya shakti.
Devotee means he desires to serve Krishna. So I told you, Lord Balarama is the original servant of Krishna. Of course, Srimati Radharani is also the original servant of Krishna. But the moods are different. So we think of Radharani's service to Krishna in terms of ecstatic conjugal love. Whereas Lord Balaram, he is actually doing menial service. He even takes the form of the shoes of the Lord, of the bed of the Lord. That is also Anantashesh. He is the bed of the Lord. So, then he is performing these activities by his own nature, the active kriya shakti. And all opportunities to serve Krishna in Goloka Vrindavan are made possible by his kriya shakti expansion. And so, therefore, we here, we are in the material world, but the basis of everything here is the Lord's spiritual energy. So, therefore, our prayer must be that Lord Balaram kindly connect us to his own personal kriya shakti. So that we may be able to render transcendental devotional service to him. Because one cannot do it when one is simply under the material potency. And particularly in the Sankirtan movement, we should be desiring the power to preach, the power to expand this movement, because this is the meaning of Sankirtan. And so, as you all know, Lord Nityananda, he is the self-same Balaram in the pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And so he is the very personification of the spreading potency of Sankirtan. We find in Chaitanya Charitamrita, it is mentioned that at Jagannath Puri, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Lord Nityananda, they sat down together alone, and they had very confidential discussion. And this is, in this discussion, Mahaprabhu requested Lord Nityananda that you kindly spread this Sankirtan movement all over to every town and village of Bengal. Because now Mahaprabhu, he had taken sannyas, he was going to stay at Puri. He was not really supposed, although he did go back to Bengal, on 2 occasions, but because being sannyasi, his mother was there, he's not able to go there freely.
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu přijal sannyasa už kvůli tomu, že v Bengálsku byla jeho matka, tak tam nemohl libovolně chodit, když tam při 2 příležitostech ještě byl.
So he was in anxiety that Bengal, all the people there, be delivered. So this was his heartfelt request to Lord Nityananda, and this is how the Sankirtan movement spread as it did there. And now Srila Prabhupada, who is the most powerful representative of Lord Chaitanya that we have seen, now he is requesting us to expand this movement throughout the world. So, who are we? You see? We are very small. And not only that, we have been working for countless lifetimes under the material kriya shakti, which is the willpower to do nonsense things, to perform karma and sinful activities and go to hell.
My jsme nespočetně mnoho životů fungovali pod hmotnou kriya shakti, která dává sílu jako dělat všemožné nesmysly a karmu a hříšné činnosti a jít do pekla.
So then we have to very humbly beg at the lotus feet of Lord Nityananda, and of course the spiritual master, our Samstapakacharya, founder Acharya, spiritual master Srila Prabhupada, and the spiritual masters coming in the line down to this present day. They are all the representatives of Lord Nityananda. So to them we must pray that we may be blessed with at least a ray of this kriya shakti, that we may be able to perform some service in the mission of the Lord. And we must chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Because when we chant this Rama, then we are invoking the presence of Lord Nityananda Ram and Lord Balarama. This same power, kriya shakti, we are invoking when we chant Hare Ram. So I see everyone is disappearing, so I'm going to stop here. I suppose duty calls at this hour, just 8:30 just passed, so. And what do you started to go out? Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Gaur Premanandi Hari Hari Bol.